recording. So, and it says live on Facebook. So let's see if that's live there. This is still a bit new to me, how to connect with Facebook and
yeah, I haven't tried that yet.
But if that ain't possible, then we are going to continue with the recording here. I know we're supposed to do something now, view on stream. Oh, just give me one moment, please.
That's fine, don't worry. Don't worry.
With Facebook and
Yeah, I haven't tried that yet.
well, it seems like we are live, so well, let's go.
I'm just finishing my chamomile tea, everyone. Hello.
We're gonna start all fresh over here, and I'm gonna say welcome, Rachel. It's so good to finally see you live and hear your voice and be able to talk to you. So it's a real pleasure for me to have you here on Heart to Heart.
You're welcome. So we're having a Scandinavian chat today because I'm in Denmark and you're in Sweden, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm in Sweden and you are in Denmark, right?
Yeah, Roskilde.
Roskilde, yeah. How long have you been there?
More than 7 years.
7 years. Okay, so you're speaking Danish.
Jeg kan klare på dansk, men jeg er ikke fantastisk.
Well, that's fine enough. That's very good.
I get by. Let's put it that way.
You get by. Yeah. Well, Roskilde is a very beautiful town. Been there a couple of times myself.
Okay.
And it's a very special town.
Yeah. Has lots of lovely springs and
it is
ley lines and all sorts of things around here.
Yeah, that's but pretty similar to Sweden. Have you been to Sweden any time?
I have. Whereabouts are you in Sweden?
I'm located near Gothenburg, so I guess we have the kind of similar topic of weather and fauna, etc.
So how far up Sweden is that from Malmo going north?
Oh, 30 miles.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're not far away from me at all, are you? Oh, isn't that funny?
It's almost like a wave across the sea now.
Yeah, that's it. We're quite close. So yeah, I've been to Sweden. I've mainly been to, I don't know how to say this properly in a Swedish way, but I've been to Södermanland.
Södermanland,
Up near Skovsta Airport, I think it is. It's this tiny little airport. It's near there because I've been doing some training with a wonderful teacher called Imelda Almqvist. And she's Dutch, but she lives in London, but her husband's Swedish.
Okay.
And they bought this like farm buildings, out in the forest, and she's been teaching Seither courses like Nordic shamanism. And up until COVID started last year, I was on a 2-year course. It's turned into a 3-year course now.
Okay. Yeah, because I saw that you have been doing something, and I have difficulty to pronounce that name. Seither. Yeah. So I guess we're gonna come to that. I would like for you to do a quick introduction about yourself, because when I've been sneaking around your page a bit, because I've been curious about you, you are a woman that is multi-skilled. You are doing a lot of things, and I saw that you hosted your own podcast too. You are having different teachings and schools. So there's a lot of talk about that. So if you are just can give us a quick resume about what your priorities are right now.
I'm afraid my priorities are spirit led. It's like
Yeah.
it's usually whatever I'm getting called to do. But yeah, so my name's Rachel Goodwin. I live in Denmark, but I'm British, as people could probably hear from my accent. And
Mm.
I have been working with and channeling Ascended Master Sarah, who is the daughter of Mary Magdalene and Yeshua, since 2006.
Wow.
So, but yes, I have a lot of varied interests. I get bored quite easily.
So yeah, I can totally relate to that feeling. But it's quite a bit of time anyway, so you're not bored with it yet? No.
No, I mean Sarah. So Sarah is. So I went out for a little walk before we had, started this interview, and
Yeah.
I took my runes. I took my runes with me. I picked two runes. I had one in each hand. I've got them here. I've got Naud and
Mm.
I've got Raid. And so I go for walks with runes, and this was something that Imelda taught us to do. And they sort of talk to you while you're out, and you can ask them to like speak to you on a certain matter. And I said, talk to me about the work I'm doing with Sarah at the moment, because it's a big project that we're involved with at the moment. And so, I was thinking about all the different things I've done and how much work it's been,
Yeah.
because I'm starting from nothing.
Yeah.
Nearly everybody else has, got a body of knowledge, even if it's other channelers and healers and people like that. Whereas me, I was kind of starting with a name, and the rest I've had to. But I mean, there are little myths here and there, and I love all of them. I'm really not stuck on any one story or any one name. I think they all have a richness to them. They all say something about her. But yeah, I mean, Sarah is someone who I experience personally as an energy. She's not someone I believe in. This isn't a question of like my mind believes in her, because before she came along to talk to me, I didn't particularly believe in her or was even interested in
uh,
her. But I feel very close to her, I feel very connected to her, and I love her energy. And
yeah, well, it's a very
yeah,
beautiful energy because I've been watching you and your friend Lisa there when you have channeled her, and the energy is so soft and sweet, and I can't really say that I have heard about her so much before either. So she is a curiosity to me because I am a bit curious. I can recognize the energy, and it's totally beautiful and there. So, but I can also sense that she is a a part of the collective of the other ascended masters, of course. Uh, and there must be a difficulty to separate them because she's pretty close to the energy of Mary Magdalene, of course. Yeah.
yeah, that's it. And Mary Magdalene and Sarah holds the divine masculine and the divine feminine in unity. She is
Yeah.
the expression of the sacred marriage. And all the ascended masters are archetypes in one way or another of different aspects of the divine's energy. So it's not that they own that energy in any way. It's
No.
just that that is kind of what they express, and that is, it's a face to the world, and it's useful for us. I mean, in some ways, that term ascended master, I mean, I use it because it explains to people
It does.
like the level of where she's at. But in another way, I don't find it
No.
very useful, because it's not about her being ascended and us not being ascended. It's
No.
about her being here, because she holds the right energy for us to go through the process of the next step in our evolutionary journey. And
Mm.
she very much walks by our side, because we are the ones that have to come into mastery now.
Yeah.
you know she's not here to tell us what to do, but she holds the right energy to kind of catalyze us. So
Mm.
we're like, oh, I'll be like, oh, I don't know what to do. Sarah will come in, shine a load of energy on me, and it will work through my blocks, because usually it's blocks that are in the way. It's not that we don't have what we need. We have what we need. We just, culturally or family or, past lives or whatever are getting in the way. So she has so many uses, and I don't think I can ever get bored of Sarah.
No, but because when I looked at your page, you are holding you're writing about your she's working with the ascension process and channeling it through there. So you are hosting a school with your when you are giving tools
Mm.
about how to work with that energy for our ascension, right? That
Yeah, yeah. So I've been like teaching a 12-month program for the last 2 years on Patreon, which is a 12-step ascension program
mhm.
to embodied ascension, and that hopefully next year, because I'm very ambitious, and I make all sorts of projects for myself. I don't always get them done in the timeline that I would like, but hopefully that will become a book next year so that people can sort of do the process for
Fascinating.
themselves. So that is something, yeah, that's 3 years old, that project.
Uh,
But this year and last year I started developing a healing system working with Sarah, and I've been initiating people into that the last this year and end of last year, and that has been absolutely amazing. So I mean, the energies that come in with it are just incredible. I mean, so people that work with energy or are healers, it's just, she has a host of angels that she works with,
okay.
and they come in
Mm.
and sort of create this circle of light, and the healer connects to them and to the person that they're working with. And then you actually, it feels really physical. You actually kind of journey up to your higher self and get all the particles. It's like almost like cells of light that you need for your next kind of ascension bit. Then you bring them down, and then Sarah has a violet flame, which is, because a lot of the ascended masters have violet flame. I know Saint Germain is kind of like the main
Mm.
man, and then there's
Mm.
Lady Portia as well, holding the feminine. But a lot of ascended masters, and even the earth, and even us, because we've worked with the violet flame over and over, we all hold these
Mm.
different frequencies, and they're quite specialized. And because I'm a complete violet flame junkie, I
Yeah,
just love it.
me
And
too.
Sarah, yes, and Sarah's violet flame is specifically for this transition that we're going through at the moment to sort of reach higher and higher vibration. So she's a really good ascended master to call on if you're having sort of blocks with your ascension process or your spiritual development, I suppose you could say. But so the violet flame then comes in and like clears out all the blocks to you manifesting this, because Sarah is in all of the different spheres. She grounds stuff physically right onto the earth. And so that's the last part of the healing. There's 3 stages. Sarah comes in with this incredible kind of, it's like a life force energy that she holds, and I see it as really green. And she weaves it all into like our DNA and our physical body, and it's so grounded, and she grounds us right into, I mean, what I call the new earth grid. I mean, I know everyone's got different names, but I
Yeah.
think people know what I mean, like when I say that. And it's such a beautiful healing system, and anybody can access it. It seems like if people go, because like the healers that are working with it, it's like they're getting people who've never had healing before, and they're still loving it. So it's not like
Yeah.
you have to be really advanced to have it or anything. It's like it is for everybody.
And now that you are talking about her, I can sense in my body that the energy is rising and
Yeah.
the chakra is turning on. So there is
Yeah.
a definitely an energy and a vibe when you're speaking about her that attracts her to start
Yeah.
working with the energies.
Yeah.
So, but you were talking about the grid, and I can agree. Everybody's talking about new earth and have different names about the grid,
Mm.
but the grid, I was kind of curious about that. because you are in Roskilde and Denmark has a ley line, right? So did that work started more with Sarah when you arrived to Roskilde, or?
Yeah, when I came here 7 years ago,
Uh,
I tried to create a website and I was so confused because I did sacred earth healing and I worked with Sarah and I did this and I did that and I couldn't see how they all fitted together. Whereas now, 7 years later, I see they're actually, and this is Sarah Integrates, they are actually all part, it's all come to make sense now. Because, so this is the part of the work that I am really heavily involved in right now. We are grounding Sarah's flame on the earth. And so the runes that I picked, this is what they said to me. So this one is Raid, and this is often I'm using the Scandinavian names. If people are thinking, "What's that's not what I know." I'm sorry, I can't remember the German names. I only learnt one system; it was enough for my brain. But Raid is about movement, and it's like the energies are coming in,
mm,
and we either have to stand aside from them or go with them. And Sarah's flame, these energies, these vibrations, the earth really needs them because it's always about keeping balance and polarity on the earth. We live in a world of polarity. And so there's a lot of darkness, more light has to come in.
mhm.
And so, we can sort of see that perhaps this is a premium time for Sarah's flame to come on the earth. So last year we worked with grounding. She has an etheric violet flame temple in Glastonbury, and we had a group call and we worked on that, which was amazing. And this year we are bringing in Sarah's white flame of divinity, which is kind of that angel higher self energy. It's all like,
Yeah.
it's all kind of up there. And we're going to bring that down to the etheric, not to the physical yet, but we're doing this call in May. And if people are interested in that, if they go onto my website, it's rachelgoodwin.dk, and you click on Zoom calls, and that's the only one on there at the moment. So it's like this energy is needed. This is now. This is the rune. This is the need rune, and the Norns. And if people don't know who the Norns are, they're kind of, but not really, the 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 Norse version of the Greek spinners. But the Norns don't actually do any spinning. They keep the weave in balance and they pull it here and they weave it a bit there. And this is all about, we need to do this work because, like, I've been so busy lately, and I was like, God Almighty Spirit, could you just back up a bit? I am one person here. And it is great because they do keep sending people in to help me, which is good because I need it. But it's also, this is just the time, and you, like I said, you either have to step out of the road and have a break, or you have to kind of go
Yeah.
along with it because this powerful stuff.
Mm. I can see that a lot in this spiritual community that people are actually working like intensely and just have to sit down on the couch and when the evening comes, just totally not drained, but drained. Uh,
Yeah, I
but
know.
everybody's enjoying the ride in a way. And also glad you talked about the flame because that was also a question mark for me because you were talking about the white flame and the violet flame is so precious and fun to work with, but I also think it's very fun to work with the other flames. So I was very, very curious about the white flame.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So there's one more flame that
Mm,
we will bring in next year, and we're grounding these at certain places on the earth,
mm,
and that will be, so the energies I was talking about with the healing system. We bring in this white light, then we bring the violet flame, then we bring in the green energy for manifestation. It's the same with the flames,
mm,
except for we started on the earth. We started with Sarah's violet flame because you can't get that white flame anywhere near the earth until there's more clearing. And so this Sarah's violet flame, and of course she's not the only white light being
no,
working on these things, but our landscapes,
mm,
the surface of the earth is being cleared
mm,
quite hugely at the moment. And it's not the earth stuff, it's our stuff from eons. It's all us not being in right relationship with the world and not knowing how to think rightly in relationship with the world, and also not knowing how to clear it, because we've lost a lot of our comprehension and sensitivity for energies, whereas now, it's coming back, like,
Oh, it's
in,
coming back, all
by
right.
the thousands, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, we're really, really
Yeah.
waking up, and this is our next big job. It's to really, really work on the earth. So many of us have worked on ourselves now for years, and you kind of need to do that before you're ready, or
Yeah.
just be a soul that is already stable enough to do earth healing work.
Mm.
And like I said, we're not healing the earth, we're healing our mess.
That's a nice way to put it.
Yeah,
It truly is.
yeah,
Well, it's a combination there, and I totally agree. You have to do a lot of work on yourself before you go and work with others and the earth. And I also love when you are talking about the runes, and you're
mm,
also talking about Sarah, and I guess that's where the other spiritual helpers that you had are connected there too, because people many times are getting stuck with that you're working with one master or one entity, or you're doing that and have a difficulty to see that they actually connecting with each other.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
love it when you hold the runes, actually, because for many people, they have just watched the TV series Vikings and, get in touch and see these fierce, full warriors and that kind of work they did. And maybe some will find it difficult to actually see that it's a part of a bigger plan.
yes, absolutely, absolutely. And I mean, the thing is, we've all had different lives all over the planet, you
Yeah.
know, and to connect to these different things, we're utilizing our soul strengths that we've built up. And also, Sarah's had different lives all over the planet. Let's not imagine she's just had one life as the daughter of
um,
Mary Magdalene.
a
You
lot of
know,
incarnations. Yeah.
exactly. So, I feel her energy quite strongly in Scandinavia and Eastern Europe. Very, very much. Quite a few people have had visions of her, like surrounded by beech trees with wolves, which really, really speaks to me of Eastern
Oh,
Europe and Scandinavia. So, yeah, I think it would be silly just to sort of focus on one thing and the thing is, we bring them together. We're the thing that integrates it all. And I think Sarah just never will be. She's too free. She's a wild spirit, She'll never be defined clearly.
and I think that goes for a lot of other masters too, because they all have had a lot of incarnations and they are not defined by one, but they are easier for the human mind to grasp a particular name and but we are also getting very fixated with just that incarnation
Yeah,
instead to see the broader of it. So I just have to say, because I did some I went down into meditation last night and just let the image pop up. And there was a wolf. Of course, I was thinking about today, and there was a wolf popping up, and I couldn't get it to fit in with the work that I'm working with right now. So, but
yeah,
now he's a wolf. I got a bit of
yeah,
chill on my arms, and
yeah,
good stuff. Yeah. So,
yeah. That's it. And I think it really, that the wolf energy really holds an aspect of Sarah's energy. But at the same time, like recently, I've been getting a really strong urge to see a picture, because obviously there's not many pictures of Sarah. I had one painted for me years ago by Cheryl Yambrak Rose, who does a lot of Magdalene paintings and beautiful sort of work for different oracles. And she painted me one of Sarah. But recently I've been getting an urge to see Sarah as a black woman,
mhm.
like dark skin. And so I've asked someone to do me another painting, because I do. And she was saying, maybe Ethiopia. And I was going, oh yeah, I'm really getting that. And I said, I can't justify this with anything, but it's an urge in me. So can you do that? And she was like, yeah, yeah. But she hasn't got time till the summer, so I have to wait.
Well, that's interesting. And so actually in line with what we are talking about, not defying a energy with a specific vision of or image of how it should look like or be. So, but I want to go back to what you've been doing also, this say there.
Yes.
I'm never gonna learn that
No, no,
name.
that's it. No, that was perfect.
Say
That
there,
was
yeah.
perfect, Ava. Yeah.
Yeah. So you said you've been working like 3 years with that.
Well, I still have 1 year of the course left.
Mm,
So, but I think that's going to be next year because I think also our October meeting might not happen because it's just so difficult to know when we're meeting.
mm.
But yeah, I think it has been 3 years now since I did the first introductory one. That was actually in Skåne
Yes.
in
Mm,
Sweden. Oh, I loved it. I loved it round there with a woman called Anna Kjellin. She was fantastic. Yeah.
mm. Because I saw a picture of you standing outside with a drum. So I was thinking to myself that you must have like these gatherings outside when you are meeting a lot of people and you're actually getting in this vibe of nature and shamanism.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose that is where I get the clearest and the most sacred energy is when I'm outside
Mm,
in nature as much as possible. I mean, Denmark is not like the wilds of Sweden, but there are quite a few special energy places around here, and also we're not far from Lejre as well.
mm.
Which was the old sort of seat of the pagan kings in Denmark, and there's an amazing spring over there. It's just so witchy, magical, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I saw that you posted a picture of it, right?
Oh, I don't
That's
know. That was probably the springs in Roskilde. That one I tend to
could
keep a bit
be.
secret.
Mm. Okay, you want to keep it for yourself. Well, that's good. That's
Well, no,
okay.
I tell certain people, but like not Facebook, you know? Like it's a little bit it doesn't it's not that it's like
Yeah.
no, no, I'm not for Facebook. I'm like, okay, that's okay. But I mean that's it, I'm really, really lucky in the way that I can read energies. I mean, of course it's also been a curse in my life because it means that I have to be very careful where I put myself because
Mm,
I'm so sensitive. I can't cope. I mean, I can't cope in the middle of a crowd. I just can't shield myself from that amount of, different emotional energies and everything. So it does mean I have to live a certain sort of protected life. But on the other hand, COVID has sort of, in that way, has suited me fairly well, So, but
a lot of people see COVID as a bad. Oh, don't get me wrong. Of course, it's bad, but it's
yeah,
also very, very blessing. It's a blessing for the spiritual community because people are actually need to have to go inside and take a deep look inside yourself, doing a lot of shadow works. So
yeah,
in some way, it is a blessing in the spiritual way. In the
yeah.
physical way, another question. No, of
Yeah,
course not.
yeah.
Mm,
Because I was thinking about that on my walk as
mm,
well. I spoke to a friend the other day, and she was saying about she's going to go and live with her son, and it's something that the circumstances have sort of happened that it's necessary for her to do that. And that was how it was when I came to Denmark as well. All the doors in Great Britain just closed, and although I didn't want to come because my eldest son Josh, he's 18 now, he lives in the UK with his dad, I did not want to leave. I
mm,
fought so hard and I swore so hard at spirit because I knew they wanted me
mm,
here. And anyway, but she put it to me another way. She said, sometimes when you can't change anything, you can see it as it's being given to you. And I thought, God, yeah, I like it. Really reframes it. I liked that. And I was thinking about like the last, so since COVID started, I mean, here at sort of end of February, um, I've had to stop traveling to the UK to see my
yeah,
friends and family. I haven't been home since 2019. But also, I mean, like, because when I first moved here 7 years ago, I used to travel every 6 weeks, backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards, because I had to make sure both my children were all right. And it was exhausting. I was so exhausted, and I got really ill, and that's a whole other story. But I've not been able to go anywhere the last year, so all my energy has gone into my work.
Yeah.
And it really shows. People are like, "My God, how are you doing all that?" And I'm like, "Well, I could have always done it, but because we have an 8-year-old who's got special needs as well.
Mm.
So, a lot of my energies are being pulled in all these different places, and traveling is exhausting, going
Yeah.
backwards and forwards through airports. So I thought, well, whatever happens, this last year and a half, I've really focused on my work.
Yeah, it would also give you time when because everything has slowed down with it,
Mm.
and it gives time to go within and to keep your energies within yourself.
Mm.
Um, Even if there is a hectic life right now for the most in the spiritual community, because everybody, like you said before, feel the urge to be presenting and doing a lot of activity, there is also this fulfillment of keeping the energy inside. And I can see that it's a bliss that we are actually being allowed to, with divinely intention,
Yeah,
like go inside, do your work, get your BS together now, and
yeah.
keep
But I mean,
focusing on this morning.
I'm nearly 50.
Mm.
No, I am 50 now. I could say nearly 50. Trying to pretend I'm still.
Congratulations.
I'm 50. I'm
Yeah.
51 this year, and I started sort of going down and doing that shadow work when I was in my 20s,
Mm.
and it happened really heavily over in my 20s and my 30s and my 40s.
Mm.
And these days, I mean, the work is never finished, as we know, but
Yeah,
it doesn't have that intensity
that's
that
good.
but I have really put in a shitload of work,
Yeah.
worked on it much more than your average light worker, let's say. But I've had to, because you can't do what I do
No.
when you've got shadows. Get you have to it will just keep coming up so powerfully. You either work through it or you change career,
Yeah, I was
really.
going
I
to
mean,
say that you are a leader in your spiritual community, so you need to do the
yeah,
hard work because
yeah.
otherwise you won't be able to lead anybody else. So yeah, but it's been hectic time. I can understand that. And as you said, you've been doing this like since 30 years back, like you were in the 20s, right?
Well, on and off.
Mm.
There's been spurts of it, and then I've had to stop because of moving country or whatever turbulence going on.
Well, that's life
Um,
entering, but you're
yeah,
still on the
yeah.
path, so to speak.
Having children and
Mm.
moving and careers coming and going and whatever. It's like, but
Yeah.
yeah, it hasn't really stopped for a long time. I did start quite young, I guess.
So where were you in life when you started to connect with the so-called spiritual helpers? Because you haven't just Sarah and Sadie, you have Freya,
Yeah, Pele is also very
Ellen,
strong.
and
I
they
work,
also, yeah.
yeah, I work with the Norns very much. I have to say, it all does tend to be female entities.
Mhm.
Although I work with Tur or Tia, he comes in quite strongly for me. And people have suggested that maybe he was like the All Father before Odin, and he's quite noble Tur and very manly. I like him. But I tend to work with whoever comes along. Really,
Yeah.
there are other Hawaiian deities that I work with, um, but I don't chop and change a lot really. I think I'm probably fairly well. You never know, do you? You never know who's going to
Uh,
pop up next. It's like,
but that's the beauty because as we said before, that people are so it's so easily to get stuck with that you are channeling one sort of entity like Freya or the Nordic
yeah,
entities, and Pele is from a totally different continent.
completely.
So
Completely.
yeah,
Yeah, and I do sort of feel that they balance each other quite nicely,
yeah,
actually. They sort of hold different qualities and different energies, and I have really, really strong past life memories with both of them. So they're both kind of in my soul. And then I also have, quite a few number of Christian lives as well, which sort of annoyed me for many, many years. I was sort of like, oh, I'm so cross with all of that Christian stuff. But I love working with Mary Magdalene and Sarah and Yeshua as
yeah.
well. I do. I love it. they're beautiful energies, and they often remind me. They say, look, whatever religion is out there, we're not actually Christian. We came here to do our spiritual work. You can't really put a label on us.
Oh, I love that sentence. That's oh yes. There is this man-made philosophies and
Yeah,
religions, and we
totally.
are just the carriers of that belief. So the belief system has come from inside, and when you do your shadow work, the belief system is changing because you are seeing a broader perspective.
Yeah,
And that's why I love so much now that when you are talking about the different energies from different incarnated locations all over the world, connecting up to where you are right now, channeling Ascended Master Sarah
yeah,
and doing the work with the white flame.
yeah.
So when did you realize that everything went up to this one and same work that you are doing right now?
I mean,
It's a tricky question, but because you can see the bits of it, and
yeah.
then
I mean, it's probably only in the last couple of years that it's
uh,
all really come together. And doing the Nordic shamanism work, the Seither,
mm,
that was the last piece, because these energies that I work with, they're so high and up there, oh, up there, and then like it grounds them, the runes, and there's something really nitty gritty. I don't know, probably don't know that expression being Swedish, but it sort of means like it's the rough and the dirty and you know what I mean? And
yeah,
it's like it grounds it all. It can be very high and right down there, right in the earth, in the mud and the soil as well.
mm,
And I love that, and it's really helped me
mm,
manifest all these things that I've been working for years and actually turn them into systems that other people can actually access
yeah,
for
yeah,
themselves,
mm,
and use themselves. It doesn't have to be just me like
no,
passing the energies off. People have now got systems and processes. I mean, I have a book on Amazon.
mm.
Let me have a look. I
Yeah,
got a
because you
copy.
were an author too.
Yeah, I got
You
I mean,
do
I wrote
multiple.
this one,
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
2014, and I'm just in the process of doing number two, which is more channelings of Sarah. This is sort of like how to work with Sarah for like a healing
yeah.
system. And the one I'm doing now, it's more, I'm pulling together the channelings I've done over the years to sort of say, I think these are the threads of Sarah, what
Mm,
she is about and what
good
she's
idea.
come here to
Yeah.
do. But I have a huge body of work. So it's like, but hopefully it won't take me too long. Well, I don't know. I
Mm.
don't know. I don't know. But can I tell you about
Yeah.
the flame temple, because
Oh, please do.
that's my last bit. So earlier on this year, I think I might have been out for my New Year walk.
Mhm.
Um, and I was just, allowing inspiration to come in for the year. And I'd had this thought before, and it came in really strongly about creating like priests and priestesses to work with Sarah's energy. And and I was like, oh God, not another thing. Don't you think I got enough? Don't you think
Yeah.
I got enough to do? But I think these are the years that the creativity are coming in.
Mm.
And then I don't think it will stay like this. I think it's gonna, now I have to like manifest it
Yeah.
all. But it was very, very clear to do that. And so Sarah has an ashram, and that is above the big island of Hawaii.
Oh, really?
Which, yeah, which
Uh,
really surprised me. I kind of really wanted it to be in Glastonbury,
yeah.
or Rennes le Chateau in France, and I was like dowsing all over the globe. No, 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 no. And I was like, oh, and then it was in Hawaii, and it was so clear. And we did this course where we were connecting with Sarah's energy.
Mm.
And it's the thing is Pele, because Sarah's energy is still slightly split away from us. You have to kind of make a leap to get to her,
Mm.
which is why I'm saying, we've got to bring this flame down, and we've got to integrate it, because we need it down here on the earth.
Mm.
But Pele is like, she's so powerful because people who don't know her, she is the goddess of the lava flow, and she
Yeah.
lives in Kilauea on the big island of Hawaii, and she is like just like, oh, the power
Yeah, I
that
get
she's
this
got.
fiery image of her.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's amazing, just amazing. And she can like help us get up there,
Mhm.
but it's a little distant, you know. And then so it was like, so create this priest and priestess thing, but also create a temple. And so that's what we're doing next week on the 11th. I'm going to do, so sometimes I channel like teachings from Sarah, sometimes I just channel like an activation, and there's light language and toning, and we're going to create like the etheric space that is the
Wow.
temple,
Yeah.
and I'm going to be
Oh, it's
channeling. So it's
lovely.
not me creating it, it's like
No.
it's me and all the other people that are going to
Yeah.
take part in that. We're going to create this etheric space for
Mhm.
Sarah's temple to be in. And so, like with the white, and then there's the white flame, that's an aspect
Mhm.
of this flame.
Mhm.
Next year, like I said, it's the green flame. And then in 2023, we're going to finish it off and it's going to fully come in. And all of those, because all of those, so the white, violet, and the green, they are actually one flame.
Mhm. Yeah.
So in a way, it's an illusion that
Yeah.
there are three aspects, but at the same time, it's really useful. You can get so much goodness out of working with them in that
It's like
way.
vibrations of the same energy, and
Yeah,
the different vibrations give different colors. Yeah.
exactly. So Sarah's flame is Sarah's flame, and Mary Magdalene also has a flame, the Magdalene flame, and Yeshua also
Hmm.
has a flame, like the Christ flame, you could call it. And they, you know, Mary Magdalene's is the divine feminine, Yeshua is the divine masculine, and Sarah is, you
Hmm.
know, that unity thing. And that is what we need on the planet. We need to be able to come into unity consciousness, which is one of those terms where you sort of go, well, what's that then?
Yeah, with absolutely, we totally do. And I just want to go back to this ashram and then creating a temple space,
Yeah.
because before everything that happened like it has been for the past year, people were actually getting together in different spaces, and we had places that we met each other and we did ceremonies and rituals, etc. And now we are actually sharing that same energy online, and connect with more and more people in due to these times that we're in. And this creation of temple is a state of mind and a state of heart. It's not a necessary to be a physical place. So that is just to clear it out for people that may be listening and think that you have to be at place physically
Mm,
to reach that energy. That is not the case, because
mm,
it is an energy, and energy goes all around the world, and it is a choice of creation to step
yeah,
in and set those boundaries.
that's it.
So mm,
That's it. And it's an energetic vibration. But also you can, so like when you're all meeting and doing your thing that you're doing, you are creating energy on the inner planes, so it does exist on the, it
yes.
does exist on the inner planes. It's just, you know, to our physical eyes there's not an actual building, but if you look with your inner eyes, there
Mm,
is a temple that is being woven through all of
yeah,
you, coming and creating those energies over and over again. And that is what we're going to do, working with Sarah and her angels, and we're going to weave an inner, you know, temple. So it means when people come in to that group, they can immediately access that energy,
yeah.
which you can't at the moment. It's a little tricky
Mm.
to get to. So
Oh
it's to
yeah.
make it a bit easier. So all the time, it's all the work we're doing, we're bringing it down, we're bringing it down, we're bringing it down. And then by 2023, so Sarah has said,
Yeah.
it should be like properly like down woven into the new
Yeah.
earth grid. So that is going to be interesting.
And that's the beauty of working in groups, because you are getting stronger as you are holding the space and you're weaving this together. So that is a beautiful work that you are doing.
Yeah. But there's no other way of doing it. I mean, one person could not achieve this. It's like the earth clearing work or the earth healing work. it's far too massive for like one
Yeah.
little person will just get "Ugh," and get
Yeah.
crushed, and it has kind of driven me
Mm.
to have to make those connections because that was quite difficult for me. I would much rather just not ask for people's help. I have to
Well,
sit
that's
here
the
and work
new
here.
time now. We are supposed to co-create today. We are supposed to work together.
And it's
Just,
it's good, but I'm quite introverted in that way, surprisingly, but I've loved it. It's forced me. There's that need rune again.
yeah.
Now the necessity of it, if I'm going to achieve this,
Yeah.
I have to make a lot of friends basically, and it's been
Yeah.
fantastic. Best thing I ever did. So met fantastic people.
Yeah. I can totally relate to that or understand what you are coming from because I get enthusiastic when I'm listening to you because you have a real passion for what you are doing and it shows both by the way you look when you talk about it and you can hear it in your voice when you're talking about it too. And just that you are emanating that energy out and it's very, very physical, that energy. So you can
Yeah,
pick it up. That is
yeah.
so exciting. I'm so glad you came on and talked
Thank
about this.
you. But that, I
Yeah,
mean, that's one of the reasons why I sort of am doing this job
yeah,
is because I can project out like electromagnetic energy. It's something I have in my energy field. It belongs to like the ancestral line that I work with. I never did anything to develop it personally.
so,
But it does take up resources. So, you know, I actually sat and did a thing this morning. I can't remember her name, but I saw some business coach and she said, schedule every moment of your day. And I know that sounds horrendous, but it means you schedule in your breaks and
mhm.
your yoga. And I've done it. I've done it. I'm going to do that now because I have to really like replenish myself because it's
Yeah,
so easy for me to get completely exhausted. And then,
yeah,
I'm a carer on the weekends and in the evening for our son
mm,
Benji, so it's like, I can actually work like 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year and never get a break. So
yeah,
like, yeah, we have to schedule our breaks in,
yeah.
everybody.
And those days that we are in now, there are a lot of not energy, new ideas that are popping in constantly, and
Yeah,
you want like, oh, I want to do that, I want to do that, and some of the ideas are just coming back and back and back and say, okay, I'm going to do that, and yeah, well, you definitely need to start schedule because
yeah,
otherwise you won't be able to be able to do what you are doing.
yeah.
I think that goes around for a lot of people actually today's. So, but I just want to look here because I missed that you actually wrote books, that you are author. How many books did you?
I
One book
just have
so far.
one at the
Yeah,
moment
you were
with
working
a
on the
second that
second
is sort
one.
of well on its
Yeah,
way, and then a third one I have all the material for the third
yeah.
one for next year as well. So we'll see.
Well, that's amazing because we
Yeah,
are going to connect with that energy in the future too. So that's
yeah, yeah.
wonderful.
I mean, I would have said like years ago that I was a writer. I'm really surprised I've ended up with a podcast. But
Yeah.
that is because, I love it's just such a great excuse to like write to someone that you really like and you really like their work and go, I really love your work. Can I talk to you? And can you tell me about your life? And they go,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's like, oh, it's so interesting. And I'd never meet these people under any other circumstance, really. And it's
Yeah.
just been, I love it. I'm a bit addicted to it, actually.
Yeah, well, that's kind of how I feel right now. And let me tell you that this when I went in and I read a bit more about you and I saw this podcast, I was thinking like she's doing podcast, and I was like, oh my God, what am I doing right now? I'm going to interview an interviewer. So, so you got me a bit scared there, but it's a good thing. It's fun, and that is one of my ideas that have been popping
Yeah.
in for quite a time. I need to do this for because I think it's fun at the
Yeah,
moment.
yeah. But my motivation is that
Mhm.
people like us, we are the minority in the
Yeah.
societies that we live in. And it's really important that we connect and hear other people talking and realize that we're great, actually, and we shouldn't feel, you know, like
No,
outcast or
no,
anything. We are so important and so
we
needed.
are.
You are all so so needed and so vital to what's
Yeah.
happening. And it'd be very easy, and I suppose because I've thought that for years, oh, I'm a freak, I'm not like other people think I'm weird. And
Yeah.
now I'm like, yeah, I am weird and it's fantastic.
It is. And this comfort zone is just getting wider and wider and
Yeah,
wider. So there's no end to the possibilities. I love that expressions. There's no end to the possibilities.
yeah,
So my dear friend Rachel, you are a podcaster, author, you have your Facebook page, you have your ashram with Sarah and channeling a lot, and you have your Facebook group and lives on Facebook.
yeah. And a
So
healing school.
healing school, healing school. Um, we are able to connect with you on Facebook, of course, and you are doing both channeling and meditation there, and you also have a Patreon site. I think that is worth to put out there, that you have a Patreon site, and there are channel messages there that aren't on Facebook.
Yeah,
So if anybody wants to get in touch with you or learn more or be in that community of safe energies with you, Patreon is a perfect place to
yeah.
enjoy what you are presenting to the world for the moment.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. Yeah. And you can find everything that I do on my website, which I said before, that's Rachel Goodwin.dk, because I'm in Denmark. It's all on there. You can find everything on there. I just updated it recently because it didn't have wasn't showing any of my new projects. And I spent, oh, I don't know, a good 2 months. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, people doing these websites. You wouldn't believe it. But yeah, it's all on there now. You can find it all.
Yeah, sounds marvelous. So, is there anything else you want to add? What is uh, what is happening in the near future you want to share with us?
I don't think so. So I know it's a little because
Mm,
people get confused because I'm doing so many things. But so right now, we have this free temple activation. If you want to come and join that, you'll have to do it on Facebook
mm,
because I'm not gonna. It doesn't feel right to broadcast that to YouTube. It's a sacred space and it should
mm.
be sort of kept private because I do broadcast a lot to different channels, but and that group is called Sarah's Temple of the Sacred Flame. So if you want to come and join the group. Um, we do have another group on Facebook, and that's called Sarah's Sacred Healing Circle. Had to think there. And it's supposed to be more about the healing. I mean, at the moment, it's more of a general thing, but I'm trying to get, but we do free healing on there every
Mm.
other month, and I'm trying to get some of the other healers to sort of get a bit
Step
more. I
up.
know it's not easy. It's got, it's like, come on, you can do
Yeah,
it. Come on.
so
So
you
I'm
sort
trying
of
to nudge
mentoring
them.
them and pushing them to take that step by
Yeah,
themselves. Yeah,
yeah.
that's
And I have a
great
lovely
job.
person called Louise, and she helps me. She helps me a
Yeah.
lot and appears with things with me, and she'll be teaching it in the future as well. And it's all one step at a time. I'm just getting the course accredited, the healing course accredited, so that it's like a properly recognised one. The mountain of paperwork is just like, and at the moment I'm at the bottom of that mountain, kind of looking up.
Yeah.
God, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, well, I can actually say this too, that you and Louise are a very nice pair together. It's a very fine flow between you when you work together.
Yeah.
So, been
We've known each other
enjoying,
quite a long time now.
yeah.
I've never physically met her.
No, well, that's
No.
the beauty of internet, right?
Yeah. Yeah. One day I'll get back over to the UK and we'll meet at Glastonbury, won't we, Louise? That's my dream. Like one day, all these people that I know so well now will be together in a room somewhere, either in Sedona. I would love to do a Sarah thing in Sedona. That would so work with the energies there because I've been there. Or Hawaii. Oh, I love Hawaii on the Big Island. Or Glastonbury. Or here in Denmark, but it costs a lot
Well,
of money to stay in Denmark. Denmark's so expensive. It's like, oh God.
Glastonbury and those places here in Europe, that I am quite familiar with it. But Sedona is a pretty new name to me. But I noticed that everybody's moving to Sedona, and they are doing channelings and courses and everything in Sedona. So I
Yeah.
was thinking, what am I missing? But there is definitely something going on in
A lot
Sedona.
of earth vortexes.
Mhm.
The energy systems around there coming up from the earth are just phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. And yeah, it's a place in the center of the, it's like it's
Mm.
in the desert. It's like it's
Yeah.
so dry. But yeah, I went there years ago at a point in my life where my life had fallen apart and I had no idea what I was going to do apart from step off a cliff.
Mm.
And I asked for guidance, and the guidance I got was go to Sedona, which is what I
Wow.
did.
Oh,
And I spent several weeks out there walking the land, and it's really
a
something
lot of
else out there.
cleansing, obviously. Yeah. Health
Yeah, I'm really
development.
reconnecting to the earth, I think,
Mhm.
because it's just, I mean, it's really spiritual place, but it's just got this really powerful, like electromagnetic earth energy. It's just like, boom, 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 boom. It's
I,
like, it's just, yeah,
well, I'm
yeah.
really curious now. I need to dive into a meditation and transport myself to Sedona and tap into those energies and see what it actually is.
Yeah.
Uh, Marvelous. So my new friend,
Yes,
Rachel, thank you so much for coming on here and do this.
you're
So
welcome. Thank you for
yeah,
having me. It's been lovely talking to you and meeting you today. I'm
yeah,
sure we'll see each
uh,
other again.
we will. I hope so. Definitely. We are going to see each other again. Let's that make that a promise. So thank you so much, Blissful. And if this wasn't on Facebook, then I'm sorry. In
It says it's streaming.
Yeah, it says it's streaming. I can't see any comments here. So, but we will
Yeah,
post it. We will post it.
yeah,
So
yeah,
everything is there's a meaning in everything. So
yeah.
no sweat about that. So bless you. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. And bye, everyone. Thank you for
Bye.
listening.